This is Good Morning Kenya, time for our conversation this morning on Entertainment Thursday. We want to focus on theatre and film industry, just the growth of this kind of space, and specifically also stage acting, perhaps to also better understand what is inhibiting the growth of theatre space, theatre plays, and also stage acting, perhaps to be specific. And my guest on set this morning will be helping us understand all about that, and also just telling us a bit about their upcoming shows. To start with the lady in red. The lady in red, that is Adeti Mahaga, who is a film and theatre arts specialist. And we also have Martin Odongo, who is a film producer, Hall of Fame Entertainment, correct? Yep. And maybe perhaps I can start with you, Martin, because you are a senior software developer at Craft Silicon. Moving to the arts. Dynamics.
Yeah, sure.
Shifting.
Thank you so much. I'm Martin Odongo, director, Hall of Fame Entertainment, and also a senior software developer at Craft Silicon.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, moving into arts, there's that passion you create, and it's developed since a tender age. I started acting when I was still very young. As everybody says, from primary, you graduate now with the system, go to secondary, finish, and go to campus, still do the same thing. There's that thing you are creating, there's that passion you are creating, and also there's that talent you are growing with time. But then, again, your parents want you to do a course that they wanted you to do. And more often than not, you find actors, or rather these talents, not nurtured to the latter. So that's actually one of the reasons I took that bold decision and said, despite the fact that I'm still a software developer, I'll still have time to like push the arts. And
push your passion. Yeah. So just going by what you're saying, from your perspective, do you feel like actually we don't take arts as that serious? Maybe not as a career, and especially also just acting.
Well, I can say yes and no. Yes, in that if you try look at the development of theatre in Kenya at the moment, you'll find those guys in your circle are the guys who will come to attend the shows, go to national theatres, go to wherever you're hosting the event from. It's not that, there's still not that push from the rest of the guys just to come and watch the shows. You'll have to convince guys, all right, this is, it's like you are support, they are just in to support. They are not taking it as part of the entertainment in Kenya at the moment. Unlike how we are seeing it outside there, where you get probably, let's just give an example of a movie launch, you'll find more interest from all over the world want to watch that specific movie. If we created that interest at the moment, moving forward from where we are right now, just create the interest. Like there's a hashtag that is already trending, weekends are for theatre. Let's just come and watch the theatre, watch the shows. Yeah, it will help in nurturing, and also earning a life for some of us guys. Yeah.
And we'll come to that in a bit, also just to understand from also a producer's, director's perspective, what exactly usually is the problem that we do not hold that with high regard that it needs to. But let me come to you, Adeti. Producer, scriptwriter, you describe yourself as a theatre, film, specialist. How did you begin? How did it start for you?
I think I come from that background, and this is just quite something that is quite rare in this country.
So from you, it was from day one, unlike Martin.
I recall when I was being taken to kindergarten by my dad, he told my school principal, because she was from Portugal at that time, and my dad told the principal she's a thespian. I didn't even know what that term meant.
Wow.
Until later on when we were defining theatre in undergrad, that I got to understand that a thespian is an actor, and this comes from one of the founders of theatre, thespies back in time, the Greek stuff and etc. So I just began drama at that time in my life, and during holidays also I could get that chance to further my acting, and then writing gradually came when I was around 9 years. I began to write. By the time I was in class 6, I had written a school play already that was going for that went for the festivals, and I was writing also a lot of poems. I also realized later that I could write music. That has never seen the light though. I'm just hoping it will. Something. Yeah. So I think mine is just luck. Yeah.
Wow, these are two contrasting views. I mean, from a point where there wasn't that support per se, but you still pushed on all through. You from day one. They were there for you. Yeah. How did this shift even how you look and see art in general? Because I mean, that's the way you mentioned, we don't see this often, and this cuts across arts. Could be painting, could be acting, could be music, just anything to do with the arts.
Mostly I say we hail from imperialism, cultural imperialism, whereby we are scared to identify with ourselves. We are Africans, we have our own cultures, you see. And back in time, there was still theater, you know, the funerals, the dances that we had back in time. And if we could maintain that until now, we could be great exporters of talent, performing arts. But now we want to only interact with film, and actually this is something from the West, and we have forgotten what defines us. So that makes us lose on it. And you asked him a question about how people perceive theater. Well, it's a tradition, you know. It's something that has to be practiced over time. And from my reading over history, around 1984, the Kenya National Theatre was really doing well, and it had become a habit where people would just turn up, watch productions, and etc. And then gradually, I don't know if really I'm allowed to say this, but I'll just say something happened about HIV and AIDS, and then theatre began to have, you know, it became a suspect of behavior sort of thing, whereby people viewed it as, you know, you're an actor, that means you're a loose person, you lack morals, or you don't have a definition of life. You get? But I have a degree in the same. I'm doing my master's already, but not in the same. So that's when people began to have suspicions on theater, and we lost it. Also, theater is really slow in terms of selling. Yeah,
that's but they are very big deal.
And that is where the problem comes in, because, you know, bills have to be paid. Theater spaces have to be rented, and they are quite costly. I'm just thinking if that could be worked on, it is definite that we producers and directors, we would work on our prices. They would not be as costly, and then we will bring back the tradition. But you see, profit has to be made. I give and I have to receive.
You've mentioned something very important, and you see also being one around that space, I can share in that. And Martin, you were agreeing so much when Adeti was talking about cost, budgeting, even paying of actors, and there's always this particular issue. Maybe I can just mention, and perhaps you can also make us understand. You see, by the time a play is set for example, 11th and 12th September, these actors have been rehearsing for even 2 months before the day of the play, and they're only paid for these 2 days of the plays. And I know this cuts across most producers, but what usually is the problem? Is it that you know, this is what you're worth just for these 2 particular days, or should I also just go outside of my way and ensure that I pay you for all these days that you're rehearsing? But then again, on the flip side, these producers, they're also trying to make sure they get enough to even pay these halls. I mean, it's really a hard place.
Production cost is something that we producers have to deal with. I'll give you an example. My first play, it was dubbed Brayo. We hosted it at Safaricom Michael Joseph Center, and trust me, we used close to 45 to 50,000 production cost. McHugh, Safaricom MJC.
This is inclusive of also paying for the space?
Not really.
Okay.
Safaricom MJC gave us the space for free. Imagine. So if they had given us the space at some cost, or some amount, you can imagine how it could have splashed to closer to almost 80,000, because it's a nice place, and it also hosts big people. So production costs, I think people should understand that the production costs that come with just producing one play is like overwhelming, because currently we are hosting this show at Kenya National Theatre. We had to pay for the hall.
Yeah.
I will not reveal the amounts. Apart from that, these people have been rehearsing for more than 1 month. You need to sustain them. Yeah. Apart from that, there are also those creating the set. Yeah, creating the set. The set, as in the backdrops and all that, we are going to use for the show, because our target is making sure you don't get malnourished when it comes to the content you're giving you, the entertainment bit, and also you get the worth of the amount you've paid. Yeah. So if you see us charging 1,000, you see us charging 1,500, it's because we want to sustain that one, and also we want to give you top-notch entertainment. Yep.
Adeti, I'd like to also pick your mind on that, because it gets to a point where the actors will tell you, for me, I'm now doing this for passion. Because when I begin to look at the cost I might get out of doing whatever I'm doing, I can never get what matches what I'm doing. Because when we're talking about, I mean, rehearsals take about 2 to 3 months, depending also on the kind of play. And you'll only be paid as per the number of shows that you do. And we understand, because also from where producers come from, just from what he's describing. So, is it a way and a direction we just need to take that, okay, just do this thing because it's for your passion? I mean, ikijipa fine, ikikosa, but it's just for the passion.
But you know, okay, passion is cool, but you see that is gambling with life, because you need to pay bills at the end of it all. Passion doesn't pay bills, in as much as it might be a driving factor to paying bills. So well, I'm passionate about theater, but what next? So I just try to encourage this, you know, this thing runs down and it runs up. When the prices up are high, they affect everyone. But you see, I try to have, henceforth, going forward, I will try to have a production rehearsed for at least 3 months. That is when you can say it's mature enough for an audience, and then when they watch it, they're not disappointed. Another problem that we have about our productions is that we focus on the entertainment bit and forget that we're supposed to teach. Get that?
Hold that thought right there. That's a very heavy point. It needs a good time to proper explain it. I want that when we come back, at least for you to make us understand that bit of teaching, and if it's a way we need to start exploring theater and stage acting. For now, we take that breather. When we return, we're still having Martin and Adeti to make us understand more about theater, stage, and film acting here in the country. Time for that break. Stay with us.
What lies beyond fear? You don't know? I will tell you. Fear is nothing. And what lies beyond fear is absolutely nothing.
I have taken an oath over my body, an oath of celibacy to earthly things. I have given my body to God, the most absolute being, creator of heaven and earth, of the seen and the unseen, and maker of man and the love of woman. A bodily oath I have taken.
All right. Okay, so that is actually speculum. We won't give you everything. Lazima muende can team watch your show. You have to go there and watch the show. That is speculum.
Yes.
Your recent coming play.
Yes.
Just tell us a bit. To your particular kitu, a bit about it, because you've already played that clip a bit.
Well, and now that brings us to the point that we left at, teaching.
Not just entertaining and having fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you see now it's only in theater that, and maybe screen sometimes, but screen is so close to reality. Well, theater also. But now, here is when we are given that privilege to enact, to teach those things that I would be scared of telling someone, you know, like going to tell Martin, let's say Martin is a prominent person and then he's pilfering money. I cannot like go and tell him, Martin, you're a thief or whatever, but I will bring it to theater and then put it in such a way that if he watches, it will awaken his conscience.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so they are aware of what I'm doing. So that is basically what it entails to teach through theater, you know, to educate, to open people's minds. And I'm just trying to bring a conscious mind, you know, like we are not so lost in our thoughts. We are not so locked-minded. I'm also trying to bring open-mindedness, you know, view something the way it is. That statement of it is what it is, sort of that thing. So when you check on Speculum, I really did research, especially on philosophies, because there's a philosophy of nothingness, philosophy of fear, and when you see what she's trying to explain what fear is, you know, fear is just nothing, but when you fear, you flop. Yeah, sort of thing. So I'm teaching.
And it takes a bigger part of your mind. Okay, just before I come to you, Martin, do you feel that also this is an area that perhaps producers and scriptwriters need to explore more? Because when you look at perhaps even from where theatre really began with the productions that we had from back in the days, the likes of Kinder Heartstrings, they would give us more comical plays, and perhaps we sort of like structured our minds towards that kind of space and environment, comic entertainment. But it's like we are now moving towards different directions. People now want more in-depth kind of content. So do you feel like this is an area perhaps that needs to be explored even more in terms of educating and teaching? Let me start with you, Adeti.
Yes, it is, only that it will not be as versatile in terms of audiences, because people want to watch different things.
Okay.
Some people are into tragedy, some people are into comedy. So it becomes a little task to be able to, you know, to just merge all these people and then you're going to teach them. That means that with the sort of productions I'm coming up with, I will have a particular audience. But you see, this other person that is so used, because I have told you theater is a tradition. This someone knows that I will go and watch Odongo's production, I'll just laugh, I want to laugh, that's it. But I will go to Adeti's production and maybe I'll not understand anything. So why not attend his production, you see? So it's just creating an audience. But eventually, you know, if things begin from somewhere, if I fuse a little comedy in mine, I'll be able to accommodate this person and this other person.
Sure.
And eventually they'll get in tandem and be able to liaise with each other, to work with each other. So it's a process. Yeah. That if we work on, it will be for the better for our society.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you think about that, Martin?
Actually, I think they go handy. Yep. Bringing in, personally, I don't compromise on the story. Yeah. The education bit of it. Yep. I give like the best. However, like she said, you need to get all those clans. You will get a group of guys who just love shows from, let's say, this entertainment house, because of maybe the comic bit, the entertainment they bring in through comedy. And you'll also get those people who will want just to watch Samantha's an intellectual play, and they'll flock to this side. And like you said, like people are changing, people want content and they want that edutainment, let me put it that way. Personally, I try to bring in both. However, I put more emphasis on the education bit. What are you coming to bring? I mean, what are you bringing home from this show? Maybe let me just talk about One Big Family briefly. We are talking about, like the name suggests, one big family. I should have called it One Big Bedroom. That is the story behind the One Big Family. What do I want people to bring home from this story? It's a whole crazy entanglement, and and also some bit of comedy, and I don't want to explain. I'm trying to avoid explaining so much about the synopsis.
On 11th September.
But then one big family is happening on 11th of September, and I want to like, dear guys, you come watch, then I promise you'll love what you're going to see.
All right, and you also have two of the actors here.
Yeah, we
who'll
have
be
two of the
performing
actors.
something small to just entice us to actually show up.
Sure.
But you mentioned something that you do not compromise on what you write.
Yep.
And especially when it comes to that education bit of it.
Yep.
So perhaps maybe just to make our viewers understand, is that what really informs the kind of content you create? Is it the environment, perhaps, what people are going through? What exactly is it?
Actually, I focus so much on real life. I want to bring the audience to understand, let's say I'm talking, for instance, this play I'm talking about one big family. Yep. You see, in Nairobi, as somebody might have written in a song, Yulana kupea piana. Yeah. I want to, like, everybody relate to what I'm talking about. I've dug deeper into nitty-gritties. Done some little research on what is happening, why people are falling out. It's because you learned that actually a friend did this to, and you just noticed that actually this should not have happened. I'm not ready to get into this family, this kind of life. Yeah. But the educational bit is that why should we always do this? Why should we always have these entanglements? What is the righteous way? Yeah. That is what we want to bring out to the audience, to bring out to the audience. And I believe I'm trying really not to explain the play, but I believe after watching the play, you guys are going to learn something. That one I can guarantee you. There's so many lessons, but you will go with at least one lesson.
At least one lesson home. So for you, it's basically the environment and also what people go through.
Yep.
What about you, Adeti? What really informs the kind of plays that you create? Life experience?
I'm a random thinker. That's what I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, but mostly I just think. What is it? It's about the mind. You know, playing with my mind. And most of the time, let's say it's, like I said, awakening a conscious society. Things that are happening, deep things that we don't talk about. That's what I'm trying to bring on stage. I want to awaken people. And now, I have to mention this. Like, Speculum has a lot of basis on religion, yeah? And when you come to realize there is religion and then there is spiritualism, yeah? Religion is the symbols, you know, the church, the rosary, the cross, these big clothes that people wear. And then spirituality is how you identify with God. And no one is supposed to be a slave to the other. We are created to be liberal thinkers, free people, creators, co-creators. But you see, now you find that because of religion and some religions and their doctrines, someone's mind gets, and is it not even, someone becomes so locked, you know. They become linear thinkers. They perceive things this way, you know. You cannot convince that person to think otherwise. Like, you cannot tell them this is subjecting you. You're not at your best because of this. That is the type of writing that I want to do for a while. Yeah, I just want people to find liberation, to find themselves, and to be at peace and to be happy. Yeah.
So for you, it's mostly random.
I am a random thinker.
Random thinker. So random thoughts, random plays, but altogether educative.
Yes, and what I observe.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about a bit about awards, because when you look at theatre and stage acting, we only have Sana Awards. And actually, not Sana Awards. Most people that even know that it exists are those people in these spaces, the actors, the producers. If you just ask a random Kenyan, do you know actually we have an award system for theatres? They'll tell you Kalasha. That is so different from you know what we have. When you go to music, at least we'd have the likes of Kina Groove, and when you go beyond Kenya, you have the Mamas and all. But when you come to theatre and stage acting, is that all sort of the things that perhaps inhibits the growth of this kind of space? Martin, what do you think?
I think yeah, to some extent, because you see, I interact with so many actors.
Yeah.
I know their potential. I know how far they can push if motivated. But notice that before you get to that level where you will, this person will be identified, because I think the stereotype in like the entertainment industry in Kenya is that once you get that limelight and shoot, that's when people will know you. Yeah. And then from there, having that following, probably as a performer, you'll get the pressure like to get to the better you and give the best, and always they will produce the best. But for this person who I personally interacted with, and I know the potential, who really just wants some little motivation, just to like what is it called, to stir up the talent in him or her, we get so like a little there's no limelight to those guys. You've talked about Sana Awards. We tried, we were nominated in 2019 after doing we had two shows in 2019, Brayo and The Secret Code, and it attracted a big audience. It was very educative, and there was crazy talent, I can say. However, getting to a level where somebody will be recognized out there is tricky. It's becoming difficult, and I think probably what we should do is, apart from Sana Awards, we should have more of those awards, such that we don't necessarily, because I can't like say it's just Hall of Fame that has the best actors out there. We have still teams that will have interacted with, have crazy talent, and they will still need to win an award or some little motivation just to push them. Maybe let me just mention something. I've also worked with a theater group in Busia, Western Kenya. It's called Rera Avis Entertainment Limited, and from that place the same concept came in. Now I have this very good actress from the village. I've mentored and nurtured. She's Bridget. We really tried to put Bridget on the limelight, but until we got the awards, it's called Booster Awards. Until we got the awards, nobody was aware of who Bridget is. So I think the awards gives someone a mileage towards realizing the talent and pushing the talent forward. That is what I can say. Probably just encouraging guys out there to create more of such awards, and maybe some little token on top of it will really push this talent. Because we want to bring, like Adeti said, we want to bring back the we want to bring back the tradition. The tradition. We used to love theater back in the 90s. It started going down, just like she explained, but we want to bring it back. We have right now we are having show after show. At least every weekend the shows are coming back, despite the restrictions. Let's encourage guys to come and watch. Also, producers out there, come poach this talent. We are creating them for you. Come poach this talent. Give them the limelight. Give them the podium. Let them shine. That is what I can say.
And I'm seeing already Loveness and Joseph wako hile pande ingine ya studio. They are getting ready for us, and they'll enact something small from what Martin was explaining there concerning that one big family. At least just have a rough idea. Ukienda kuwatch, unajua unaenda kuwatch nini. But before we get to that, Adeti, you were really agreeing when Martin was talking about how we need to have more of this award system, perhaps to appreciate the actors and actresses more like a motivation for them. Just as I try to conclude before
we have the Sana thing, right? And mostly when you realize the award that you get in Sana is just a trophy, and then what happens next? Nothing. So I was just thinking, if Sana could up its game in the sense that he emerges the best producer next time, they can tell him, we will we will take care of your show, one of your shows next year. That will make a very big difference in his life. But giving him a trophy, really, and that's it, That's it. Just that's it.
Ametoka kulipa hall.
Amelipa hall 3 times a year. So I just think that's a joke.
Okay.
And then sometimes also, you know, film has a convergence of people. Like they have made something like, I don't know what to really put it, but you see in theater we are scattered, and then we have that red eye that we give to each other. We don't support each other. There's this producer, there's this producer. We want to outshine each other. But if we worked together, our story will be a bit different and better.
All right.
Yeah.
Well said. So I want us to cross over to that other side of the studio. Like I mentioned, we have Loveness and Joseph, who are actors from Hall of Fame Entertainment. They want to enact something very small concerning this upcoming play, One Big Family. Joseph and Loveness, how are you doing?
Fine.
Fine.
You guys are good?
Yeah.
Tuoneshe kitu hapo.
This load I've carried for long. This feeling I've bared for over 15 years now. The feeling of deception and exclusivity.
James, you cannot call that exclusion.
Isolation and negligence. All rooted deeply in a past I cannot trace as far as my memory is concerned.
This was bound to happen at some state in your life.
15 years later.
But you are still young.
Hypocrisy, Zippy.
Wait, just like that, I seems to be called your auntie?
Well, a stereotype for female househelp, is it?
James, okay, let me explain. Your father and mother had lived for 5 years in matrimony without a child. They were so desperate for one. Rumor has it that your father is impotent and that is the reason that he cannot sire a child. Your mother tried fighting for a divorce, which later backfired because of the entitlement in the marriage covenant. Rumor has it that your father is impotent, and so a year later after the divorce scandal, they opted for a possible solution, adopting a child. They legally acquired all the documents needed, and they headed for Yatima Children's Home, where they were lucky to bring you home. And here are the documents.
This is to certify that an agreement has been reached between Yatima Children's Home and Paul Nabwire and his wife Monica Nabwire for the adoption of James Kimani, son to Njoroge Kimani and Natalie Wamboi on the 2nd of April 2005.
And this is the signed agreement.
I hate women and forever will.
Why say that?
Like, who in a sane mind will dump his child in a children's home? No wonder napenda maboy.
Hai, unapenda mamboy?
Hey, kwa nadhani nimetoa wapi luku wapi?
Oh God.
Zippy, I have never seen a lady in my life.
You have never seen a lady?
Exactly. You heard me right.
So, like, you have been seeing men?
There's this Nigerian man I met. Just it too. Online. He promised to get me a job. Huko KNT. Okay, sorry. Kenya National Theatre. You get me? And then he told me he's been in Kenya for 4 months now, working on a film project. And that he'll feature me in it if I did him one favor.
Favor gani?
Alisema nene nikamwone. He doesn't stay far from here. Wow. Imagine 4 months from now, I'll be in Lagos. Imagine. Alafu mi mashida zenu za Kenya nimeondokea. He bottom up economy. Bye.
Oh God.
He's tall, dark, and handsome. Nice accent. Oh my God.
Mungu wa Yusufu na Abrahamu.
Wow. Now by the way, he is not stingy.
James.
He is not stingy. Now by the way, he doesn't even do Swahili accent. Nigerian. Like Oga or...
James, you need to get your things right. Are you working in your head?
Zippy, before we get on, will you do me a favor and help me find my real parents?
Your real parents? Your real parents? It is really... James, can we just change the topic?
Wow. Wow. mpaka Wamboi on the other side amesema atakuja hiyo show. Wewe ni nani usikuje? This is actually just a snippet of one big family. When again is the date?
11th of September. We have 2 shows. Actually, I just decided to let them finish it from there. I didn't want to give the entire story.
Watu lazima kuja waone show.
Sitaki waone sana. Wakuja waone kule KNT on the 11th of September 2021. So the first show starts at exactly 4. And the second show starts at exactly 6. The show runs for 1 hour 45 minutes. Yep.
So those are 2 shows on one day. On 11th of September.
Anytime that is convenient with you, you come and watch.
What about Speculum?
Speculum runs from 10th. 10th we have just 1 show, that is at 6 p.m. That's Friday. Saturday we have 2 shows, one from 3 p.m. It's just an hour show. One from 3 p.m. and then the other one from 6 p.m. Sunday the same as Saturday.
So you have a show on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
Ukisikia nakwambia lipa 1,000 ama 1,500. This is why. I mean 3 days. 3 days is not an easy feat. Is something big.
Sure.
Now we just have like 5 minutes to finish the show, and I wouldn't want us to finish without talking about this thing, because I mean it's one of the things that comes up a lot, especially from audiences. And the thing is that a good number of them will say one of the things that perhaps is like a critic that would make theater spaces or theater plays not to grow is because producers only put the shows, for example, at most 3 days. Like One Big Family is only going to be 1 day, Speculum is going to be 3 days. Then after that, if I ever want to see Speculum or even watch again One Big Family, I'll never get that chance. And they would always equate that to a film or a movie, because they would say, if I want to watch this movie again, I just go buy it or I download it in the next 2 to 3 years, which is so different from stage and theater. Maybe I can start with you, Adeti. What do you think about that?
That puts me at a square. It depends, because currently producers are trying to have their stage plays on YouTube. But as a producer, I would not have my play on YouTube because I'm not just doing plays for... I want to export my plays.
Okay.
So that means if I put it on YouTube, there is no need for me to export my production. And that 1,000, it's just worth it. You know, theater, you interact with that live audience. You go with the memories. It's the memories that will always keep you feeling nice and feeling why you went to watch that play. And there are differences between theater and screen. So I really don't think I would like to validate that reason.
Okay.
But theater should just remain theater. Come watch that thing live. Screen, go and purchase your CD and enjoy it for as long as you want. But create that one moment, one time every month, go and watch theater. Interact with the audience one-on-one. Brings a different feeling. Yeah.
Besides, what is the point of having the diversity in the arts if you have everything on screen?
Exactly.
If I can download all movies, so what is the point of actually having arts as an art? I don't know what you have to say about that. Actually, what do you think about that kind of criticism?
I share the same sentiments. I wouldn't wish to have my play on YouTube. Just like she mentioned, want to use the play differently. It's theater. I don't want to shoot and give you on YouTube for free. You come watch, come like get the value of that 1,000, 1,500 you're paying. Unless actually for Hall of Fame, unless it's a short film, a monologue or something, I will not put a play on YouTube. Because it will beat the whole point of me rehearsing for 3 months to give you a show for free on YouTube.
And that means we'll again be killing what you're trying to revive, the tradition of coming to theater to watch productions.
I mean, also that's why we have theater halls. What would be the point of actually continuing to create more of these theater halls if everything is actually on screen? All right, there's one comment from Aliwa who says, great topic. KBC has endeavored itself in supporting this industry. It is great when we have more of this talk, saying Martin salutes and Adeti, I wish you well to Zidi. That is Aliwa Sana Awards winner 2019.
Thank you so much,
Ali. And watch our shows.
And also he should come.
Yeah, he should, and bring people. I mean, Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, and bring family.
Wow, this is beautiful. It has been great having this conversation with you. We could have time to continue expounding and exploring, because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to theatre plays, theatre spaces, also what the government needs to do to perhaps bridge this gap, because there's so much that an actor, a producer, a director, a scriptwriter can do. So perhaps also there's a space of, the government should also take their position. But all in all, again, thank you so much for your time. That has been Martin Odongo, who is a film producer at the Hall of Fame Entertainment, just giving us insights on that. We have also been having Adeti Mahaga, a film and theatre arts specialist. And not forgetting our two very most creative persons on that other side of studio, who've given us just a short stint of what is about to happen on 11th of September. That is Loveness and Joseph. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through, talking to us about theatre plays, theatre spaces, what we need to do, and also to start having value and appreciating theatre all together. Good Morning Kenya is not yet done. We still have more on the other side of this break, so stay with us.